Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again at the Wilmouth Farm, Groves Mill, New Jersey. Professor Pearson and myself made the 11 miles from Princeton in 10 minutes. Well, I hardly know where to begin. To paint for you a word picture of the strange scene before my eyes, like something out of a modern Arabian Nights. Well, I just got here. I haven't had a chance to look around yet. I guess that's it. Yes, that's the thing. Directly in front of me, half buried in a vast pit. Must have struck with a terrific force. The ground is covered with splinters of a tree. It must have struck on its way down. What I can see of the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor. At least not the meteors I've seen. It looks more like a huge cylinder. It has a diameter of... what would you say, Professor Pearson?
What's that?
What would you say? What is the diameter?
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheath is, well, I've never seen anything like it. The color is sort of yellowish white. Curious spectators are now pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back. They're getting in front of my line of vision. Would you mind stepping aside, please?
One side there, one side.
And while the policemen are pushing the crowd back, here's Mrs. Wilmot, owner of the farm here. She may have some interesting facts to add. Mrs. Wilmot, would you please tell our radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that dropped into your backyard? A step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Wilmot.
Well, I was listening to the radio.
Closer and louder, please.
Pardon me?
Closer, louder, please.
Yes, sir. While I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsing, that professor fellow was talking about Mars, so I was half dozing and half...
Yes, Mrs. Wilmot. And then what happened?
As I was saying, I was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
Yes, Mrs. Wilmot. And then you saw something.
Not first off, I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound, like kind of like a 4th of July rocket.
And then what?
I turned my head out the window and would have sworn I was sleeping and dreaming.
Yes.
I seen a kind of greenish streak and then pow, something smacked in the ground. Knocked me clear out my chair.
Well, were you frightened, Mrs. Wilmot?
No, I think I was riled.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Wilmot.
Would you like to tell it?
No, that's quite all right. That's
sure?
Plenty. No, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard Mrs. Wilmot, owner of the farm here where this thing is farmed. I wish I could convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked in the field in back of us. Police are trying to rope off the roadway leading to the farm, but it's no use. They're breaking right through. Cars' headlights throw an enormous spot on the pit where the object's half buried. Some of the more daring souls are now venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal sheen. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with the policeman, and the policeman wins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but now it's becoming more distinct. Perhaps you've caught it on your radio. Listen. Do you hear it? It's a curious humming sound that seems to be coming from inside the object. I'll move the microphone near. We're now more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Oh, Professor.
Yes, Mr. Phillips.
Can you tell us the meaning of this scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I see. Do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial, not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in a meteorite. This thing is smooth, and as you can see, a cylindrical shape.
Just a minute. Something's happened. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. The end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a spool. Screw, the thing must be hollow.
She's moving. Look, the darn thing's unscrewing. Keep back there! Keep back, I tell you! Maybe there's many trying to escape! It's red hot. They'll burn to a cinder. Keep back there. Keep back as it gets back. She's off. The top's loose. Look out there. Stand back!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrific thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone's crawling out of the hollow top. Someone or something. I can see peering out of the black hole 2 luminous discs. Are they eyes? It might be a face. It might be... Good heavens! They're wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another. They look like tentacles to me. There, I can see the thing's body. It's large as a bear, and it glistens like wet leather. But that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. The eyes are black and clean like a serpent. The mouth is V-shaped, and saliva dripping from its rimless lips that I can see quiver and pulsate. The monster, whatever it is, can hardly move. It seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing's raising up. The crowd falls back now. They've seen plenty. This is the most extraordinary experience. I can't find words. I'll pull this microphone with me as I talk. I'll have to stop the description until I can take a new position. Hold on, will you please? I'll be back in a minute.
Dun, dun, dun.